Hey, it's Dan Morales, America's Mortgage Man. So for the last over 2 years, I've done this podcast, which is called Homebuyer Radio. Okay. Now, if you know anything about me, you know I'm a tech-loving nerd, and I love to explore technology and use technology in different ways. We've started this podcast as kind of an audio podcast, and that's really how we've done it by and large part for the last couple of years, with an occasional episode that's been kind of video-based. Well, we're going to transition to a video-based podcast. Now, it's a little more work on my end, but in all honesty, I think it just helps to convey the message a little bit better. It helps for folks to be able to see that I am indeed a real person. The kind of hardest part about doing it this way is I can't do it in my t-shirt and sweatpants anymore, although maybe I will. But I just wanted to explain why we're doing it. Now, there's a couple other reasons why we're doing it on the technical end, but I'm hoping that this can be a little more educational as we start to include maybe some other clips as to how we calculate things and some of the math behind the scenes to help you get a better understanding of the home buying process. Now, when I started this podcast, it was Homebuyer Radio. We focus a lot in the world of mortgages and different mortgage options and the details that happen with a mortgage. Now, the reason we do that is because, in all honesty, there is no home ownership for most of us without the ability to be able to get a mortgage. So we spend a lot of time in that area because that's kind of my wheelhouse or my forte, if you will, because I've done this since 1991. I have a passion to help people get into owning a home because I believe in home ownership, and I believe it's a wonderful way to accumulate wealth, if you will, but I also think it's wonderful for families. It's wonderful for just kind of our communities as a whole. Home ownership is just a wonderful way to create wealth and build community. And those are things that are near and dear to my heart. As somebody who's owned a house, somebody who's built a house, somebody who's rented a house, I kind of have a really good, well-rounded understanding of this kind of whole home buying process. Now, the weeks to come, what I want to do is I want to focus in on just common questions that I get from folks and answers to those questions. Just because a lot of times I get the same question over and over and over again, and I'm hoping that the more that we can kind of push information out to folks, the better it's going to be for people to better understand this process of buying a house. Now, one of the things that I have had, it seems like this week I've had a ton of this, and I continue to see this, and it's kind of an industry-wide problem, and it has to do with just people's understanding of credit scores. When it comes to credit scores, there's plenty of different places where you can get credit score information. The problem with a lot of those places where you get free credit score information is it is wrong when it relates to the world of mortgages, okay? When it comes to mortgages, your mortgage credit score is different than a Credit Karma score. It's different than the score you get on Capital One. It's different than the score you get on a Discover card or anything like that. It is a different scoring model, and your mortgage credit scores, more often than not, are lower than what you would typically see from some of those different sources. Now, the problem is a lot of times clients think they have a certain credit score, they come in and apply for a mortgage, only to find out that their mortgage credit score is actually lower, and then they're disappointed or they have difficulty understanding why it's different. So even though you can get a credit score from Equifax, Experian, or TransUnion, from all of these different sources, if you will, it's important to note that Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian also have multiple scoring models depending on what that model is going to be used for. Some of those models are used for credit cards, some of them are consumer-based, some of them are mortgage-based. So it's really important to understand that just because you can get a free credit score, that is not your mortgage credit score, okay? Now, the one place that I'm aware of where you as a consumer can get your credit score, your mortgage credit score, and you do have to pay for it, is through the myfico.com website. So it's myfico, FICO.com website. It's, I believe, $40 a month, but you do get a very accurate mortgage credit score through that website. It's the exact same score that we get when we pull a credit report. So if you're really dialed into knowing exactly what that is, that's a great resource, but it is one that you do have to pay for. But if you're getting into the market for a mortgage and you have some concerns as to what your credit score is or how different things you're doing if you will, with credit can impact your credit score, then that would be a really good resource for you you to check out. Okay. Hey, again, my name is Dan Morales. I am America's mortgage man. My NMLS number is 709-729. My phone number is 616-931-4629. Of course, North Point Bank is an equal housing lender. But let me know what you think about the change to the podcast. We're going to push this out on Instagram TV. We're going to push it out on Facebook. We're going to push it through iHeartRadio, Spotify, you name it. Now, if you're on iHeartRadio or Spotify, I don't think you're going to see the video feed of the podcast. I think you'll still get the audio. Well, I know you will still get the audio on iHeartRadio, but I'm not sure about the rest. But let me know what questions, concerns you have, what kinds of things you really want to take a deeper dive into. I've done this for 29 years. I can assure you I've seen all kinds of unique circumstances and scenarios. If you maybe have something that's unique to you that you'd like to maybe ask the question, but maybe it's not so unique, right? Maybe it's something that somebody else can learn from. So we have a heart to help people be able to buy a house. Now, guys, I got to be honest, I do this for a selfish reason. That selfish reason is because if you're going to buy a house, we'd love to write you a mortgage, okay? We do write loans in pretty much all of the 50 states. I like to say most of the 50 states, most of our products are available. Not all products are available in all 50, but most are. So we do have the ability to help you be able to kind of achieve that dream of home ownership. So love to connect with you. Again, Dan Morales, 616-931-4629. NMLS number 709-729. North Point Bank is an equal housing lender.